I will show you how to use all the relationship constants, and I have already covered about all the transformation constants and tracking constants in my previous tutorials, so link will be in the description, or you can click on the card which will show up on the top right corner of your screen. And you can download the blend file for free, so you can follow along the tutorial, and if you are my Patreon then you will get a final file with all the constants already set up. So let's get started. So before we start, I wanna give a shout out to all the winners of my previous rigging challenge, which I announced on my Twitter page and on my community post on YouTube. So first one to rig this successfully was Gopal Krishna. Also he added this little handle to open and close the door, which I really like. So good job, man. And second person to rig this successfully was Suprabho Das. He rigged it pretty well and everything was well organized and renamed perfectly, so I really like that. And third person to rig this successfully was Uday Mathe, and last person to rig this successfully was Sivraj Pandey. He did a pretty good job. And in the comment section below you can let me know if you need more challenges like this, and I will be posting them on my social media account, so make sure you are following me on Twitter and on Instagram as well. So let's get started. So the challenge was to rig this without action constraint, but this tutorial is about relationship constraint, so we will be going over how to rig this with action constraint. So before we start, let's see how action constraint works. So I have these two object, this monkey. So let's animate this monkey for a moment. Like I will press I, then I will go here, and then I will move it over here, and then I. So it's animated. Let's make it 100 frames, and like that. And your might not look like this. Sure. It would be like this. So all you have to do is like go here and then go to dope sheet, and here you can select the action editor. Then we can create action like this. See, we have created Suzanne action, and I will click on this fake user, and I will remove the action. See, it's not animated at all. Now we can control this action with this cube. So I will select this object and I will add action constant, and then I will select this cube and I will define the axis which I want to control. So I will select y location and 1. So when this will reach 1, it will animate, and I will select the action which is Suzanne action. See, and then and I will now over here I will press 1 and it was 100. Now object, now as I move this in the y axis, see, it's triggering the same animation which we have just created. Okay, so let's use this and create this, rig this thing, this door. So I will select this armature and I will quickly animate it. So first thing we will do is we will like, for a moment I will go to this timeline, and first we will animate this 3 bones. So I will press I location, and then over here I will like push this one inside like that, and this one inside as well like that, and then I will insert this one as well like around here. Now I will again select this 3 and I will insert another keyframe. So we have animated this set, and then now we will have to animate this 2. So I will select this 3 and then I will like animate again, insert keyframe over here, around here. Yeah, on the 60 keyframe I will push it inward, GY, just like that, and I will press I again. So we have like this 2 animation. Now I will add one more keyframe to this one and this axis. So 180, insert single keyframe, then I will move it to one over here, and I will like rotate this one. Oh, okay, it was reversed, so it should be like that, like this way. Then I will insert keyframe, and then I will move it here, and then I will make it 180, insert another keyframe, and then I will like insert another keyframe in the z-axis, and I will go to 60, and I will push it inward just like this, and insert another keyframe. So as you can see, now we have this animation. Now we will animate two more things, which is this two. So select all 4 and insert location keyframe, and then I will go to 80, and I will move it in this like that, and like that, and like that. Yeah. That glitch is from this boolean object, and then this, and again I will select all of this objects, and I will insert another keyframe, C. So we have this animated. Okay, now we will use a constraint to drive this animation. So go to the dope sheet, action editor, and then click here to make a fake user. So when we remove this animation, it will stay where in the blend file, it will not delete it. So I will just name it door animation, maybe door animation, and then I will remove this animation from here. So now it's not animated, and now we can use the constraint to drive this animation. Now select any bone. I will select this one, and then I will go to properties. Make sure you are going to the bone constant property, not this constant. This is object constant, and we are working on a bone constant. So select the bone constant, go to action, and then select the armature, which is this one, door rig, and then the bone which you want to drive the action with. So the bone is door opener, this bone is door opener, if we see. So door opener, and then what we want is when we move this in the y-axis, and the y-axis, this animation will trigger, and when this will reach about over here, which is 1.06, I guess. Yeah, when this bone reach 1, it will finish the animation. So I will go make 0, and I will select this. So I want this to in the local axis, local space, and 1.07 or 6, and then animation will start from frame 1, and it will finish at 80 frame, because the animation we created is 80 frame long. And then if I select the door rig, it will not work, because if I move it, it is not working, because we haven't selected the location. Like it's selected the X location, but we want it to want it Y location. So when I move this in the Y axis, see, it's animating, as you can see. Now what we can do is we can select all the bone with A, and then at the end select this bone, and I will deselect the bone which is not animated, like this. This one is animated, so this bone and this bone is not animated. And then at the end I will select this bone, which bone have the constraint. So we can copy the constraint from this bone to all the another bones. Suppose go to constraint and then copy to selected bones. So now all the bones have the same constant, and now we can push it up and it will animate it. So let's see how armature constant works. So I will add two different armature. So and I will add one more. Let me move this. So now these are two different armature. This is armature 1 and this one is armature. So now if I select both of them and if I go to edit mode to parent this bone to this bone, Control P, we cannot parent it because they are different armatures. If they are in the same armature we can parent it, but they are not, they are different armatures. So how we can parent them is by using this armature constants. Let's go to pose mode and then armature constant, and then I will select add bone and I will add a bone like that one, and then I will select this is I've selected the armature. Now I will have to select the bone, which is bone. And now if I move this bone, I can move this one as well with it. Okay, and if I rotate, it will rotate along with it like that. And now I can animate this value and it will switch between the parent and not parent. So if I make it 0, it will switch back to where it was, and if I increase it, it will go back to its parented location, and if I make it 0, it will back to its original position. And this is what we can use to animate lots of different animation, like mechanical arm or normal arm picking up something like level pixel level did a amazing tutorial about that. Here's child of constant, and this is not child of constant, but this is exactly same thing, but this works with armature. And child of constant is similar, not exactly same, but works the same thing. But I think armature constant is better than child of constant because that is little glitchy. I will tell you why in a moment. So instead of using the child of constant, you should definitely use the armature constants. So I will delete this one now, and now I will show you the example which I made with this constant. So now I have I have this and then this, both are animated. Like these are same armature, one armature, and this one is different armature, like this one is different. And now these are rotating, see, but when it's rotating, I am using the armature constant to animate this value. So now this one is parented to the top one, and when it's reached in the bottom area, then this one is parented to that one. So see, and then as soon as it's reached, I have keyframe over here which is changing this to that one, and then again when it's reached in the top, then this one is going parented to that one. See, and this one is inspired by this animation by that guy, which is amazing. He creates really cool looking animation. So I will not show you step by step how I did this. Instead, I will leave a project file of all of this all the models I am using in this tutorial, and this will be your assignment, so you will do it yourself. Okay, and if it didn't work, then I will make a separate tutorial about this animation. By the way, I already told you what I did here, so you can of course make it on your own. And then the child of constants, let's see, it's same animation, but instead of using that, I used the child of constant, which is exactly the same thing. But what we have extra in the child of constant is that we have few values, like, and child of constant also work with the object, but this armature constant only work with the armature as it says. So I'm not sure if it will work with the object as well. No, it will not. So this one work with the object as well. And what we have extra is, like, now see, when I parent this to that one, it switched it changed its location to over here. So if I have I will have to select inverse, and then it will like move it back to where it was. This is why I don't like this child of constant, because every time you parent it to something like that, you will have to click on set inverse. So if you are animating something and then you want it to parent to something else like that one, then you will have to again click on set inverse. Then it's not good idea to click set inverse again and again. If I now reset the location, it will go back to reset its location, which is cool. And only thing we have extra which is not available in the armature constant is that you can define if you want to just parent the location, rotation or scale. Other than everything is exactly same, so I will not make like any example of this one. So let's move to follow path constant. So if you remember, we have created this ring in our first constant tutorial about the transformation constant with this transformation constants, and if you haven't watched that tutorial, go and check that out. So basically I have transformation constant which is driving rotation of this wheel from the position of this cube. So when I move this, it's rotating. Now we can use this follow path constant to make animation of this following this path. So how we can do that is by selecting this object, and then I will go and select the follow path. I have already created this nerve curve, which you can create by shift A and then create any type of curve you want, and then you can like scale it or whatever you want. So I will not go, so I will select that, I will select this. Now it's shift to here. Now if I click here, and we can now animate it like fixed location, and now we can animate this one, which is not looking cool. So we have few options over here, which is follow path, like follow curve, so it will rotate to this area. See, now if I move this, it's going like that. So let's see if it's working or not. See, it's now rotating opposite side, it should rotate that way. So this is why we have this values which we can define. So which we will have to make it -y, and then now it will rotate perfectly like the way it should. And we have one more value, this is up, so up should be mostly z, but we can change it if you like. And then one more value which is curve radius. So if I select the curve, and then if I increase the radius of this curve, it will affect this object as well. So see, and then it's now bigger here, and then as soon as it reach here, it will now go back to 1. So let's see, now if I rotate, if I move this one, see, it's becoming smaller and then bigger and then smaller and then smaller. Depends on how much radius we have defined in our curve, which we can disable this one for now, and see, it's working. Let's move to pivot constant. So with the pivot constant, we can temporarily change pivot of object, which is called origin in a Blender, but in many other software it's called pivot, and in the constant it's also called pivot. So we can now select any object. This is, by the way, offset value. So I will select this object, which is minus, so I will set it to -y. It's because we are going to rotate this in the -y. So if I turn this off and if I rotate it, it will rotate from its origin. But if I turn on this one, now it will rotate from this empty. So now the origin point is this empty. Only for the rotation we can still rotate it from that, and we can move it from here, but the rotation will always be here. So if I rotate like that, and now I can add one more pivot constant for that one, and then I can select this one, and it should be plus, because we are going in the positive axis. So now if I do, we can do this, see. So it's really useful for creating like shoe So let's assume this one is shoe, so we can do this and that, shoe or leg rig, sorry, whatever it is. And the great example of this one would be like, you can have a sword which you are throwing, and I will show you the example over here. So like this one, so now the pivot is over here and we can still move the object up, and then the pivot will be here. This video is by that guy. And then P2 design also have great example. So now the fit, I think, okay, so now see, when we are throwing the sword, the pivot is over here, and as soon as we throw it, the pivot is over here because it's rotating from here. And then as soon as this touch this object, this wall, the pivot is now on the tip of the sword. So we can use this constraint to create that type of complex animation pretty easily. So let's move to the last one, which is shrink wrap constraint. So we have this land and then this fill, which we have added that this follow path constraint with this curve. So now it's animating like that. Okay, so as you can see, it's going through this land, I think it's land or whatever it is, it's going through. But if we want it to go from like that, then we will need another constraint, which is gonna be our shrink wrap constraint, and then we will select that land. See, as soon as we set it to land, now it's on the top of this land, and now we can move it like that and that. So now see, over here it's glitchy, it's not like going down. So we can change it to project, so it will project from the z-axis. Now we can like use this to animate that one like that, so it will always stay on the top of this. And now it's over here, it's I think not staying on the top of it because we will have to push it down. Now it will always stay on top of this object. See, okay. And we have more options. Surface mode, which is self-explanatory, outside, above, down, if you need this way, or outside or whatever. And then we can define this axis. If we rotate it like that, then we will have to make it from Y. Then another is front, back face scaling, and project opposite. And this is the distance which we can define like up or down. And align normal is also useful. So this is all. And for the, I think I have skipped which one of them, which is floor constraints, because I skipped it because it's like similar to this shrink wrap constraint, but this only works on flat surface. If you have like flat surface without any displacement, it will only work on flat surface. So let's see, I will select that one. See, now if I move this like that, so it's working. But as soon as I add displacement, it will not work. See, well, because we have this. So now, so I will remove this one for now. See, it's now going through, so it will only work on flat surface, not on the deformed surface like that one. So that's it for this video. And again, if you want to support me, then join me on a Patreon. You will get project files and lots of other stuff you can read here, and link will be in the description. Also, you will help me get a new mic, which is going to be Blue Yeti or Rode NT, whatever, because this mic is like capturing lots of noise. So maybe you can help me get a new mic. So thanks again for watching. See you in the next tutorial.